Hey, it's Amanda, and you are watching a segment from 100 videos in 100 days. This started out as a challenge to myself to prove that freedom can come from authenticity and vulnerability, and that life doesn't have to be perfect or look perfect, it doesn't have to feel perfect to be valuable, to really be valuable. And that you don't have to wait to share your gifts till it all looks a certain way. And this is also about what the cost is of waiting to share your gifts. I didn't have a YouTube channel before this. I never did a video of myself. I didn't even like to see myself in camera. So am I scared every time I do this? Yes. But I'm here. I'm showing up, because I'm committed to this conversation about freedom. And the freer I get, I believe the freer you will get. So I invite you to participate as you can. There's no editing here. I get one take. So if it all goes to hell, you go with me. There may be swearing, there may be crying. I may get up and walk around. It's the game. It's authentic and vulnerable. I will look different every day. So that's really the point of it, is in life there's no editing, there's no redos. So who are you going to be? How are you going to show up? What would that look like? And what would be possible if you just showed up exactly as you were and let the cards fall? Would that be freeing? It is to me. And if it is to you, I hope you get something out of these. If there's anything that I say that rubs you wrong or feels off, discard it immediately. It's not for you. It's for whoever needs it, and most likely for me. So when this turns off and the next one turns on, I will be sitting here quietly with my eyes closed. You're not walking into any special session that you're not supposed to see. Everything's transparent here. So I started this to have context in the beginning, because I can see people are jumping in the middle of the series, and I just want to make sure everyone feels included. So I will see you soon. So, as a good practice that many of you are reminding me of and teaching me in your posts and your comments, is to say what I'm feeling in the moment and say it just like that. So I love when you guys post that, because it reminds me to do it, and how freeing it is, and how it's really one of the best things I've ever come across, all by doing this. So what I'm feeling in this moment is, I'm feeling my skin's kind of achy, and my side is hurting, and my body feels kind of tired. So I didn't sleep almost at all last night, and then I slept in for a long time this morning. In fact, I think this is the latest I've ever started a video. But I needed the rest, and I think I mentioned this in another video, but something that flares up in my body is something called diverticulitis, and it's flaring up. And it's something I have gone to battle with a couple times, and it is absolutely brutal. And I can speak from a place of knowing pain intimately. This is a contender. I do everything I can not to go to the hospital. I do every remedy, procedure, whatever it is, that I don't go, because the antibiotics are really dangerous. So, and not going can be really dangerous, because I can end up on an operating table. So it's been a wild ride for 2 years. learning to deal with this. But what I found was the fear of it coming back was worse than the pain. Now, the pain is like labor, and I know I've had natural labor. I had 24 hours back labor. I've had kidney stones. I've had, like, you name it. Yeah, I've been the fortunate receiver. So it is pretty hellacious. That being said, living in between those times with the terror of it coming back every time I get a twinge in my side, every time I eat something that I don't know how it will react, what I drink, the Tylenol or something I might take, traveling, not sleeping, anything can affect it. And it's also very much from stress. And that's what happened when I took all that time to take care of my daughter and a bunch of other people and shut this down. And I delivered myself some diverticulitis. Interestingly enough, there's a book that I'll share about with at some point. And it's a book about personality types and kind of our path. And, this is a very interesting book. And I didn't see this. I've read it a couple times, but I think because I'd never heard the disease, it made no sense. But I was looking at it, and it said my particular personality type, if I don't deal with my emotions and I shut them down, which is very typical for my personality type, I guess, they will get diverticulitis. So that was pretty crazy. I mean, I find the book to be dead on, but to be that dead on, that's a little nuts. So I did some work on it because I was just in terror all the time. I didn't go anywhere. I stopped hanging out. It was just stressful all the time. So I did some work on it, some inquiry, until I got to where I realized how much I actually didn't want it to go away and what the benefits were for me for being here. A reality check. Because I could cry about it, be scared about it, and talk about it. But was the reality that I really wanted it to be gone? Because we always think that when there's something painful, we are absolutely sure we want it gone. And then our actions don't actually match. Like our mind's going to war with our body, which it does all the time. But was I doing all the things I needed to do to make sure it was gone? Yes, food-wise, all that kind of stuff. But there was definitely some emotional things I needed to do. And of course, I want to go there last because it's scary, it's hard. Except it's totally self-contained. No one has to help me do it. I can just do it. So I did the work on that. And the anxiety around this disease is gone. I used to be on a Facebook board that had to do with this disease. And the stories that were coming out of there were so scary. And it was constant anxiety. Everybody had it. 24/7. That was the thing they posted about the most. And once that was gone for me, now I just, if I have to deal with it, I deal with it. And there's definitely some more work I can do around it. I know they say it's incurable, but I don't believe in that. So I'm going to go to work on that, and maybe that's something I can share with, in the next 72 days. Okay, so the reason I'm sharing that is, one, because I had a feeling pain was going to come up, and I'm feeling achy right now, probably like that feverish feeling, and I'd probably say my pain is like a 6 out of 10 in my side. So where the mind wants to go with that is, oh no, oh no, oh no. Houston, we have a problem. And this doesn't just pertain to pain. It pertains to anything that we think may be painful or uncomfortable that may be coming our way. If we know divorce papers are being served, if we know that someone wants to have a talk, if we know our kid's coming home and maybe there's bad news coming, maybe we're expecting a phone call about a loved one, maybe we're waiting to hear whether we got a job or not, whatever it is. Whatever we anticipate coming that could be painful, this works exactly the same across the board. So our mind wants to go into this projection mode to protect us. it does the exact opposite, because it causes so much strife and anxiety and stress that it makes the symptoms worse. And it makes us already shut down because we've already lived into it. So what that means is it doesn't just give me a warning like, oh, do you feel that in your side? You might want to, check into that. Maybe call the doctor, take something for it. It doesn't do that. It just shows me a picture of me in bed, violently ill, can't move, can't breathe, being terrified not to go to the doctor, but being terrified to go to the doctor, and all the mental anguish that goes with that. And am I going to die? Am I ever going to be able to live a normal life? Like, it just isn't giving me anything helpful. And it just makes the experience so much worse. So the last few times when I felt it, and I've done this with other things too, is I'll feel it, and I know where my mind wants to go. So, you get that text like, hey, can we talk? Okay, you know where your mind's going to want to go. Choose not to go there. And what I mean by that is, your mind's automatically going to start showing you pictures. It is a projector. There's like a million little guys up there with a million little slides that will actually say, here's the picture that you should be afraid of, here's the actions you should take, here's what you should feel, here's the thoughts that are going to come, so let's just get this rolling. And that is actually what it looks like, is a little slideshow right in front of you. And so you just live right into it. So you can have days of fear about something that it never came about. And if you've ever noticed, your mind's always giving you advice, like, oh, don't talk to that guy, he's a creep. Or talk to him, he's cool. Or that kid is such and such. Or don't take that job, or do take that job. Well, most of the time it's wrong. But have you ever fired it? Because if it was a consulting company or a therapist, it would be fired. So notice when it wants to tell you, we are in big trouble. We are in huge trouble. Pain's coming, pain's coming. It just is trying to be in charge. It's trying to protect something that doesn't actually need to be protected. So when you hear that going, choose, I kind of say step aside or go drop down and choose peace. And what I mean by that is, like, I know that it wants to run, and I kind of go hold, kind of like the Civil War when they line up with all their guns ready to shoot, and they do a hold like that. Don't let it go charging forward, and if it does, step to the side, and okay, it took off with the movie. Yeah, I mean, what do I feel in this moment? I feel some pain, feel some discomfort. Does that mean in 12 hours I'll be in an ER? No. Does that mean I'm going to be laying weeping in my bed uncontrollably? No. Does it mean I won't be? No. But what's the point of worrying, let's say, 36 hours before? It's of no use, and it puts so much more, stress on the body. And it actually could cause something to happen that maybe it wouldn't have. I remember I'd come back from a seminar, and I started to feel that achy flu feeling. And I used to get like these achy flu cold things, and they would last like 2 weeks, and I'd be down. And I felt one coming on, and I was upset, as I didn't want it to come. And then I realized, well, I actually can't know that it's coming. I mean, predictably, if I was going to bet my house on it or not, yeah, I'd probably bet my house on it. But I couldn't know for sure. Like, I wouldn't bet my child on it, right? So I decided that instead of fighting with it and getting upset that something painful might be coming my way that I couldn't be sure about, I went and kind of prepared my room. I cleaned my bathroom. I made my bed. I did things that would actually honor me, that if that experience were to occur, I would feel taken care of. It'd be one less thing to beat myself up about. So I could lay in a comfy bed. And then I just went, hold, and I waited. And I felt like I was sitting like at a hotel in Miami or wherever. And I've got this big window there. And I'm watching a storm. They're telling me a hurricane's coming, right? and I'm waiting for the hurricane, but I can't know that it's going to land. So I just kept waiting to see what was going to happen. I was just noticing the sensations coming up. But I didn't let it mean anything beyond that. You don't want to, I don't feel anything, don't do that. That's shutting it down and just add pressure in there. And then going into the huge story does the same. So just notice it, acknowledge it. And since I've started doing this, I would say 75% of the time, the illness or the reaction or whatever did not show up. And if it did, it usually was not nearly as bad. But I mean, I used to religiously have these colds and these flus type things. But when I could just sit and watch it, it's very empowering because it lets you experience yourself separate from the mind. Like, well, you know, I know you had this story and I should already be in bed, but here I am. And I think a big part of it is because you don't allow your mind and your body, or your body, to follow what the mind's saying. You know, you stay connected in your center and you're like, we'll see. We can't know. None of us can know. That can't know, our body can't know. Soul, the soul's not worried about it anyway. So, I mean, I'm hoping you can see that this goes with any, I know a tough conversation's coming my way. Okay, and it'll go how it goes, and you'll experience sensations, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be this bloodbath conversation. It doesn't mean there's going to be a huge fight. It doesn't mean there's going to be a huge loss. And if there is, you will handle it in that moment. That is actually what your body and mind are designed for, is to handle things in the moment. The crisis, the fight or flight, yeah, it'll know exactly what to do. It'll pick up the phone. It'll fill out a paper. It will have the dialogue, and it won't even resist it. It'll just be doing it, right? If a burglar's coming at you, you don't go, well, feeling some anxiety. No, you're just moving. You're calling the police. You're running. You're charging. You're whatever. That's what we're designed for. Let the mind actually do its job. Let your instincts do their jobs. Otherwise, we are literally going to battle against ghosts. We're swinging at air, and it's confusing to the mind, actually. It just sees pictures forward, pictures backward. It doesn't know, it can't function that way. Then you release all these chemicals into your body, thinking, you know, that there is a problem, but there's not. And it can make you really sick. It's how you lose your endocrine system. That may not be right. Adrenal fatigue. There you go. Too much adrenaline, too much cortisol going through all the time, because we live in this state of, this could probably happen, this might happen, oh my gosh, what if that happens? Instead of just hold, experience, and then the show happens or it doesn't. But you didn't waste a day, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months in the agony of it. That's torture. I mean, that's self-punishment. When you talk about people that cut or people that hurt themselves to release pain, it's like, that is self-harm. To not just let it show up as it is. Because it's really not even your business till it's there. It's actually something you can hands-on manage. And you're far more present when it shows up. You don't even like have all the angst about it. It's kind of like, oh, well, let's just see what happens. Let's see what unfolds. There may be something in here for me. So I invite you to try that. In this moment I feel this. It shows you a movie about pain, illness, loss. Wait for it to show up. This guy's not in charge. I literally can diagram for you, because I actually have seen one in real life. I know it sounds weird, but whatever. What a projection looks like. And they feel so real, you can't know the difference. But when you start being able to notice it, by the fact that I'm sitting here, I'm safe, and all of a sudden I'm in a hospital bed, or all of a sudden my bills are unpaid because I'm sick, or that guy doesn't want to go out with me because I'm sick. I've had all of them. But I'm here, and the projection won't ever give you a good picture. Or it'll give you a hyped up one, like I'm happy, and all of a sudden you're a millionaire, you know, living traveling the world, and that's not reality either. So either way, here's where you're safe, here's where you're taken care of, here's where you're loved. It's very manageable. It just is presence. It's love. And there's nothing to do until there's something to do. And you'll be doing it. We just complicate the hell out of the stuff. So, maybe something to think about. And I love your guys' comments and the things you're sharing. I mean, it's part of my mom's camera today, because my mom's like, you need to be in bed. And I'm like, I need to keep sharing. Because this is what's really going on. I'm dealing with something. It'd be so easy to be caught up in this and go, so today I learned, no. Today I feel like I'm giving birth out my side, and it's the thing I've been ashamed of my whole life. Well, guess what? Here it is. Here I am. So, thanks again. So I know the people that watch these, they're exceptional people. Are we better? No. Exceptional, maybe a little odd. Yeah, this takes something to watch these. I was telling my daughters this the other night, last night. I said, people that actually watch these, there's something about them. I mean, they got some grit. They got something that they could take these in like this. Because this isn't easy stuff. You've seen it's not mainstream. Yeah. It's like easy, fast. This isn't that. But it's profound, and I think it's making a difference. And I'm getting this information just like you guys. I re-listen to this when it's done, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so helpful. So, thank you.